Hi everyone. I'm sorry we had a bit of a problem there with the tech stuff, but I'm live now and I know you couldn't see me. So I still see zero viewers, and I don't know if this is a tech difficulty. If you're there, please let me know if you can see me. I'm starting. Let me call Pam. Give me a few minutes. I'll get Pam online. So I see one viewer. Can you please post your name? If you haven't registered with StreamYard, I wouldn't be able to get your name. So for the people who haven't seen me for a while over here, because there are some new people in this group, my name is Swati, and I am the admin of this group. And sometime back this year itself, I had hi Susan. So happy to see you here. Let me add Pam here at stream. Hi Pam.
Hey, hi.
So I was just telling these people that I was having some tech difficulties. Now finally it's solved, and I was I was introducing myself because I haven't been here for a while, and I know
Well,
I
maybe I should introduce you.
just a few months back, I had taught a free course over here on how to create your own angel cards and do readings. So today I'm here with Pamela Johnson. She's a member of this group and a friend of mine, and it's really amazing to share her story because we hear all these stories about talking to our departed loved ones and all of that. We read stories, and but we don't know those people, so it somehow seems very unreal. But here this is happening with one of our own members, one of our own group members, Pamela Johnson. So many of you might actually know Pam over here. So please say hi to Pam, and we are going to talk about an extraordinary story over here of how death cannot come between you and your loved ones. It's just amazing. I have been following Pam's story and I'm really blown away. So let's begin with this. Pam, this is Pamela Johnson, and Pam, can you tell me a little bit about your husband, Alan, and what had happened to him?
Okay. Gosh, it's a long story.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Alan had been a psychic medium for 33 years, well, more than that, probably 35 years of his life. And um, he basically came down with dementia. And within about 2 years, he got worse and worse. And then this year, from about the end of January, he just went into a nosedive. It really got bad, like fast. and and he ended up passing away on his birthday, which was August 6th. And I mean, well, you're not really prepared for that. You're never prepared for that. But on the other hand, I was also grateful that he didn't suffer, longer than that. But so he passed, and I was grieving, and I thought, well, that's it, and I'm grieving, and then the next day, he starts like coming back, like giving me messages or connecting with other people. One of them is you, and that's why you're going to be in the book that we're writing, as well as other people.
I just want
And
to tell them something about you and Alan about this so that they'll know how extraordinary this was about him and coming and talking to you. So, Pam, I have seen Pamela in two different versions. I just want to
oh,
give people the version one and version two, and so you'll know why
yeah,
this is so extraordinary. Pamela Johnson is an amazing healer. She is really a miraculous healer. So she, but she is not. She used to be a person very much in her head, very
yep,
logical, very
absolutely.
practical. unemotional, which was really good because she was dealing with all this with her husband all alone. And if she had been an emotional person, she would have been a nervous wreck. But because she was so much in her head and so practical, she could deal with it in a calm way and go ahead with this. So she wasn't so much into talking of romantic things or emotional things, or people coming and talking to her, spirits coming and talking to
No,
her. She did her
no.
work, she did her healing. She didn't talk to spirits so much. I mean, if they came and gave her messages, of course, she took it as a matter of fact, but it wasn't a daily life for her. And then something suddenly happened and she started hearing him. And I heard him a few days before he passed. He was still in coma that time. And I was trying to convince him, his soul, through using theta healing methods that, please come back. You can always get well. You are a healer, you're a miracle worker, this, blah, blah. And that was the first time Alan talked to me and he said, I'm not coming back. I'm
Okay, yeah.
looking at what I'm doing and I don't want to come back. And then on his birthday, I was woken up by his very cheerful voice, Alan coming and telling me, I'm going. And I woke up and I thought, oh my God, he's dead. And that too on his birthday. And I don't know how Pam is. So I went and checked, and Pam had not posted anything. And then things started happening, which was weird because Pam is hearing, and Pam thought she's going crazy because she's asking me, am I really hearing what's happening? Tell the story now, Pam. And Pam really went into her heart from her head. She
Oh
is
well,
now totally
that.
romantic, totally sensitive, totally emotional. So this is version
Oh, okay.
2.
Yeah, that I was not prepared for, and I think that, if anything, I know proved to you, right, and other people that know me, that something profound had happened, even if they couldn't necessarily believe that he came back, right? It was like they couldn't deny that I was changed. So, and I didn't even know what was happening as the change was going on. But
Yes.
what he was doing was, because he told me, was he said he needed to open my heart because I was so shut down, and I had to be shut down because I had to cope with his dementia. And when you're in distress like that, you can't be in your heart. You're going to have a nervous breakdown.
Mhm.
So I had to be in my head. It's a survival mechanism that we need, so it's not a bad thing at all. It's a
Yeah.
blessing, really.
Mhm.
Okay, there are times when you just got to be in your head so that you can survive, cope. But now that he was gone, that was over, right? So he came through, and I would get these, what I would came to describe as love blasts. Like I'd be crying, and then all of a sudden I'd go like whoa, like this wave of love would just hit me, and I get tingles, or I feel chills or goosebumps or whatever, and I'd go, what the hell was that? Like what is that? And I think you explained what that was, and somebody else I was talking to at the time, another medium, was saying basically the same thing. Like he's communicating with you, he's wanting to tell you that he's alive, he's still here, that you have an agreement to still be together, to still work together. And I just said, what? Like, how is that gonna work?
And this
Like,
was because you were
what?
still transitioning from head to heart. I still remember it
I,
was hilarious. You would keep asking me if you're going mad.
am I going crazy? Like, because you will think you're going crazy if
Mhm.
this is happening. And on top of it, I was grieving, right? The
Mhm.
other thing that he did was he started to put songs in my head, like literally, like make me think of a song. Or like the first song was the theme from the movie Ghost, Unchained Melody. It was the orchestral version by Maurice Jarre, which is very beautiful, right? So I felt like I had to go look for it. So I went on YouTube and, look for it. And I'd play the song and I would just cry, cry, cry. But I'd also feel his love. So I wanted to keep listening because, I was crying, but I didn't care because I could feel him, right? So I kept playing it, like playing it over and over. And then he
And you
added
kept
another
crying
one.
and crying and crying out of
Right?
love and happiness. And she's telling me, sorry for butting in, but this is
No, no,
so
no. That's
exciting for me also because I've been watching this, seeing Pam change from the head person to this heart person. I have
heart
never
first.
seen Pam cry before this. And now she
No.
cries on a daily basis, like how we brush our teeth, go to
Oh
sleep,
yeah.
she cries
Yeah.
every day. So So she's
Yeah.
crying and she's telling me, what's happening to me? How come I'm not grieving suddenly? How come I'm feeling all this? What's happening to me? So
What's going on with me? Um, and so all this emotion, and then the second song, this is the funny one. The second song he gave me was the song by Phil Collins called Groovy Kind of Love. Okay, so he put the song in my head. Literally from the moment I'd wake up, the song is playing in my head till I go to sleep. The song is playing in my head. Okay, I'm trying to like not think of it. It keeps coming back. And that's why I would then put the music on, right? Like actually like play it, right? And it would still keep going even when I turned it off. So he told me later that those songs were, and the songs, he still gives me songs. He's still giving it to me. We have a whole playlist in my Facebook group of songs that most of them, not all of them, most of them he gave to me. Like he would like find these songs and I'd listen to it and I feel this love just like come over me. And I'd go, oh my God, you put your love in that song. And he'd go, yes. So the songs had a message from him. Like the song was to tell me like what he was doing. So in Groupie Kind of Love, Phil Collins is singing about kind of like hearing your heartbeat and listening to your breathing and all this. And I said, is that what you're doing? He says, yes, I'm with you all the time. Like I have my arms around you, and I was just trying to tell you that I'm laying there right next to you because I'm always here next to you. And I just started to cry more.
I'm also keep telling the people about how this was strange for you, because there are many people here who will watch. I mean, right now we have 7 viewers, but later on people will watch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there'll be many people who have absolutely no clue how to connect with the departed loved ones, and it's like it's a normal thing. They'll think it's the end of communication, and how
No, it's
it's
not.
important with you because you also did not communicate so much with the Alan
No, I
did.
wasn't.
You
I
did not.
wasn't a medium. Alan was a
You were the
medium.
medium.
I
So
was
for
more
you,
of a
it's so
channel.
strange, and how much you doubted it, and so it's okay to doubt, and yet how you learned. So tell them that it's okay to
Well,
tell them about your
okay.
process.
Because I in my group, I tell people I'm totally honest. Like they see me go through periods where I just go, I'm crazy. Like this is crazy. Like like I can't, right? Because I'm keeping it real. Because this is a journey that if people want to be on, and I invite everybody who's interested to be on the journey. Okay, but you got to know that there's going to be ups and downs because our programming is so strong to not believe in what we can't see. So if you don't have other people, like I have you, Swati, or a few other people who can see him, or they've had contact with them, or because I've had so many stories of people who've had an experience of him, right? That I cannot deny it. But yet, I still go, well, okay, are you really here? Like, are you sure you're here? And then he comes, like, proves me again, like again. So the way I tell people, if you want to open to this, is first you have to be in your heart. That's what he told me. He said, you can't do this if you're in your head, because one of the main ways that they communicate is through our emotions. So and that's undeniable, right? So when I got those love blasts, I mean, I knew something was happening because I wasn't making that up. I mean, when you feel this love pour over you, like I would feel at times, I'd be like opening the refrigerator and all of a sudden feel this wave of love hit me. I'd go, oh crap, that's you. Okay, I know that's you because that's not me, because I'm just looking for the tomatoes or something, right? And I'd go, all right, that's you. But he was constantly proving that he was with me. And the songs were a big part of it, because I turn on a song and all of a sudden I would hear the first note and I'd burst into tears and I go, oh crap, you put your love in that song. Like now it's in this song. Before it was this other song, right? And the energy was moving. Like the love is here in this song, then the next time it's this other song. And that's why I'd go, I'm like crazy. No, that's him. Because he'd say, this is the song I want to give you today. So, and I kind of want to emphasize that too, because he's telling me that spirit does communicate through songs. That's because songs are very emotional, right? And then you hear certain music and you think it's like a coincidence that the song comes on and it has a message that may be relevant to you, maybe about your loved one or about what's going on in your life, right? So spirit communicates with songs. And he's saying to me that he wants me to give you an example, another example of a song that to me, that was like kind of icing on the cake with a song thing, because one night I was really upset about this whole situation. No, it's so hard to not to feel this love kind of blossoming again. It's actually deeper than it was when he was alive. Okay, it was
God,
like,
please, can you tell them about this bit, even if it's briefly,
what
about how it was before he died,
oh
and then how it's like deep romance after
oh
that.
it's we well if you know our beginning when we first met was very romantic. And I'm sharing that in the book, and I'm writing it now, like I'm remembering that. So it was very romantic, but and I think most people will identify with this. You have this romance with somebody, and it's real. It is real. But then you get together, especially get married, and maybe you have kids. Like we ended up having a child, and life just becomes more mundane, right? That's just what happens. So life takes over, and you kind of slowly, bit by bit, you kind of just like lose that magic. You kind of, and Alan says that he just wasn't like living full out. He just kind of got more into just being secure and safe and in this comfort zone, which now he realizes was a huge mistake. Like he didn't continue to kind of show me romance or love. He knew I loved him and he loved me very much, but he didn't demonstrate it. So that passion wasn't kept alive, right? But when he crossed over, oh my God, he came back like like passion, like blazing, like I love you, I want to be with you, you're my everything. And he would express these things in writing that he'd want me to do for him, because he'd say in the beginning, especially, like I couldn't really talk to him easily. Now I can, but in the beginning it was hard. So I would write. He would tell me, he would say, just write. Like don't try to talk to me like this. Just write. And I say, what is good is that going to do? Like I'm not going to believe that. He goes,
I want
just
to
write. You won't believe it.
I want to explain that bit a little bit to people. So the
About the
reason
writing.
the reason Alan asked her to write is because Pam is mostly claircognizant. Now she's
In my
kind of
head.
looking up the other things, so she would just know. And claircognizant people can do automatic writing amazingly well. And Pam, one of her strengths is writing. She's an amazing writer, and she's writing an amazing book, which you people should know about supernatural love. Anyway, so she, for her, communication is easiest through writing. So that's why Alan
Yeah,
asked her to
that's what he
stop
said to
trying to
do
look in
that.
her head and just take dictation.
Yeah, and I was really angry that night. I've been angry a lot at him, like, oh, this is not going to work. And he said, just write, just write. So I would write, and I'm going like, yeah, right, like rolling my eyes, and the writing would flow, right? Like I don't even know where it's going. It would just flow, and I stop and read it, and I'd go, oh my God, this is you, like, because
I
this isn't
cried.
me.
I
And
cried.
I knew it wasn't me. And then as soon as I said that and I realized it, it's like his energy just hit me again, and I literally felt as if he lifted me up in almost like an out of body experience, and I was like blown away. And he said, "You got it." Like, yes, like this is me. I'm here. Like, and I okay, but this has had to keep going, because almost every day, like give me some sign, like even if it's just I'm listening to some song and all of a sudden I feel goosebumps, and I know that he's basically saying I love this song too, or what the song is saying is what I want you to know, right? And I go, oh, okay, honey, like I know that's you, right? It's so anybody can talk to the other side in the readings. Oh, and once we got together, he wanted to do readings with me, and I said, how's that going to work? Because I'm not a medium. I really don't consider myself a medium. And he said, well, you're going to do the talking and I'll do most of the heavy lifting, but you contribute to it too, because you've got your own amazing connection
Mhm.
and you're a clear channel. So I was very skeptical because I didn't really want to do readings. I kind of gave that up a while ago, but he was always doing readings and he wanted to still continue, and
Those
he
were not
wanted to support
Sorry that I keep
me.
butting in.
Go ahead, go ahead,
Sorry that
go
I
ahead.
keep butting in. I just want to keep adding to explain some things about her. About this reading part, why this was so extraordinary about her doing readings. Pam had given up readings quite a while back,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I asked her, hey, can you come with me online in my group and just
Give a
participate,
reading.
and doing card reading, simple card reading. And she would say, no, I don't do readings. Go someone else. And then she goes on to full blown readings with Alan. So it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, he tricked me into it because he hadn't done readings for about at least 2 years because of the dementia. So nobody was calling anymore because 2 years, and then he said, "If you want to try, if you try and you like it, let's do it." He said to me, "You will love it," and he showed me love in capital letters like LOV. You will love it, and I said, "Oh yeah, right. I'll love it." You're saying I'll love it? He goes, "You'll love it. Just trust me." I said, "Yeah, but how are we going to get a client? You haven't done readings for 2 years or so." And he says, "I'll make it happen. Don't I always make it happen?" I said, "Okay, but you're not."
1 more minute for this, 1 more minute. And the reason, I'm so sorry, I know it's so irritating
No,
when
no.
the interviewer keeps butting in and interrupting the person who's being interviewed. The reason I'm butting in is because I know Pam so well that sometimes when she's there, I'm missing, fill in the blanks. I need to explain
Okay,
something.
yeah, fill in the blank.
So, wait, I lost my train of thought. What were you just saying? What were you
with
just
the
saying?
re-
With
with the
the,
reading.
yeah, with the reading. You were just saying something that I needed to explain why it's so amazing.
Oh,
What?
because we hadn't done any readings. We hadn't done. Is that the
Yeah,
part?
okay. Yeah,
Because
the thing is, she said, how will I get clients? Okay, now Pam, the version one Pam, the old Pam, being extremely left brained, she would follow the exact rules given to her by the teachers of marketing that would tell her, you must do it A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, exactly like that. Otherwise, all hell will break loose or whatever. And Pamela would butt
I don't know
heads
about
in
that, but
all the time. Oh my God. If I told Pam, but I don't like this rule, what they're teaching. I want to do it. I want to follow my own guidance. And she would say, are you mad? And not to put me down, but she wants my best and she doesn't want me to fail. So she thought that if I try to follow my intuition and not follow the rules, I will totally crash. And we would really get mad at each other for that. And no, she wouldn't. She always remained unemotional and calm. Nothing affected her. I would get mad at her and she would like say, okay, whatever. But she is a person who doesn't, who used, not is, used to be a person who would follow rules of marketing as laid down by her
okay,
marketing.
okay.
So she did not know
Well,
how to get
th-
the clients. And this is where Alan stepped in and just blew it up.
oh yeah, he just said because he's a powerful manifester. He's always been, and he says, I'll make it happen. Haven't then I always done
And
that?
he
And I
told
said,
me you can do it
okay.
for
I said,
money.
okay. But I said, okay, within 24 hours, no, actually it was less than that. Within 12 hours, somebody called and said, and asked for Alan and said she wanted a reading. And I said, what? Then I explained to her that he had passed but that we were starting to do readings together. And she said, oh, great. That sounds fabulous. Sign me up. Like, I want a reading. So within 12 hours, we had our first reading. So that first reading, it just was hilarious because it was like the perfect client to prove that he was real because she was really difficult. She wasn't listening to him, okay, which he really doesn't like. So he was coming to me going, Pam, she's not listening to me. Like, I hate that. And I could feel him getting like agitated, right? I said, you got to calm down. It's okay. Like I'm talking to him in my mind, right? I said, you got to calm down. It's okay. Like, and he'd say, you got to get her to shut up. Tell her to shut up. I can't say shut up. He'd say, I don't care. You have to tell her to shut up. I had to tell her to shut up. I even after one point had to swear at her, right? Which I never do. And he insisted. He goes, you watch, you'll swear at her, she won't even notice it. Which is true. I swore at her, it went right over her head, right? And he said, see, I told you. So we're doing the reading. I could see everything about her life, like because he showed me. And he knew exactly what she needed to do. And he was so frustrated that she wasn't listening to him. Because when Alan does a reading, He's all business. He's not there to mess around. And I will tell you, this is the truth. Okay, there are readers who will happily let the clock go run off on your reading and let you chit chat and stuff and be happy about that. Okay, Alan is not one of those people. He actually will start lecturing the client and say, "Are you here to listen to me? Or are you here to talk? Because I have something to tell you." He's like all business. I'm here to serve you, and if I can't give it to you, why are you here?
Well, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So he was really frustrated with her, and we did help her in the end. Okay, at the best we could. But after the reading, when I got off that reading, I just laughed and I laughed and I said, "I know that's you. That is so you.
That is so
Um,
good. Yeah.
Obviously, this is you." I said, "I'm in." And he goes, "Okay, you're in?" I said, "Yes." I said, "What do we do now that we don't have any clients?" And he said, "Well, remember the Facebook group that I suggested that you form? Because that's a whole other story." Okay, because he had guided me to share my story on my Facebook page, my personal page. And I had shared all our photos from our life. I shared everything about him. I shared just I don't know how we met. I just shared everything because he was in the process of dying, or it was possible. And I wanted to celebrate his life before he left this world. Because I knew on some level he would be able to know what was going on and he would love it, right? So I know he gave me that idea, like share, tell them about us, just let my family know and let our friends know. And so I did, and it ended up I had people messaging me saying, I want to be your friend because I hear you're telling these amazing stories. I go, okay, like people that knew me but weren't my friends, right? They started like getting on my page and reading our story. And then when he crossed and he started to talk to me, they got more interested, right? And he said, "Now create a Facebook group." Okay, a week after he passed, he tells me, "Start a Facebook group." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Just do what I told you. You'll see." He said, "And invite the people, your friends from your page, your personal page, to join the group. They will come." And I said, "Okay." So I start that. And to my amazement, I think 130 people like jumped into that group like immediately. And I said, "All right, you're right so far." And I start sharing more in the group about him being on the other side. Because on my personal page, it's like I got 1,000 something, which isn't a lot of friends. A lot of, I mean, you have way more friends than most people, but it's just I wasn't going to share there because I just didn't want to put that all out there. Okay, so and he wanted to be in the group. So in the group I start really like sharing because he's giving me messages every day. I was posting like 2-3 times a day because of whatever he was happening or what he was telling me, and I just poured my heart out there. And people were starting to tell me that our story inspired them. They found it hopeful. They felt like a lot of them were saying, "I only come on social media to visit your page, your group or something." And I'd go, "What?" And Alan said, they resonate with our story because it's real. And they all said they knew it was real because they kind of watched this develop from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
So you can't make this stuff up. You just
And also,
can't. You
you
can't.
share so honestly in your group. You're not always trying to say, "Oh, I have always done this, I'm doing." You just put it out there. Hey, I don't know. And or sometimes you even write, "I can't connect with them. I'm so sad." You just
Oh,
so real
I
there.
I told everybody from the beginning. I said, "I'm keeping it real. This is me. I'm being totally vulnerable. I'm telling you what I'm going through because what's the point? I'm not going to sugarcoat this
Yeah.
because this is so unreal that if I don't
Mhm.
keep it real, you just think like, oh yeah, well she did just make it up because Alan's saying there are people out there who are making this crap up,
Totally.
they're making it all up and it's all smoke and mirrors. And he says that's never what he's been about. This never been what I've been about. So it's all like, this is the truth. And everybody in the group pretty much knows that. They know I've had my highs, I've had my lows. They've come to know Alan, even though most of them have never met him. Some of them have met him, and they can kind of confirm, like, oh yeah, that's how Alan is, right?
Yeah.
And so when the reading situation presented itself, and I said, well, how are we going to get clients? We haven't done it for 2 years. Sure, we did one reading, and he said, just post in the group that we're doing readings now. And I said, oh, yeah, right. Like, I'm just going to say we're open for business. And he basically said, yes, that's all you have to do.
And it's so odd
I
because you just crossed over. You're going through
so,
ups and downs, major ups and downs, euphoria, grief, euphoria, grief.
yeah,
It was a mad
crash, like
20.
grief, like, and then he says, we're going to do readings and I'm going to support you. We're going to work together. Like we never got to do when I was in a body and you always wanted to, but I couldn't. Like he just couldn't. He couldn't teach with me. He didn't feel confident doing that. There was so many reasons why, but we just never got to. And it always broke my heart. It was always like, I felt like we have a lot to offer. Like, why can't we find a way to work together, right? And now he's saying, we are going to work together. That's what I came back for, to work together, to do healings together, to teach together, to help people, serve people together. And now I have the ability to do it. I didn't have it when I was here in a body. I had too many issues. And Pam, I was old. I was 83 when I died. Even if I healed my dementia, I still had a body that was falling apart. You know that. And I said, yeah, that's true. That's true. And he said, so I couldn't do that. And I wasn't meant to. We were meant to do this now. This is what you could say you were born for. It's your purpose, what you're doing now with me. And I'd say, well, this is a really crazy way to do it. Like you're over there and I'm here. And he says, no, it's perfect. I'm in heaven, you're on earth. Yeah. And we're merging heaven and earth. We're building a bridge between heaven and earth. And we're living on that bridge. So he said with the readings, he said, just put that announcement in there. Nothing, just tell them what's happening. And I did, because I had nothing to lose, put that announcement in there. Within about the 12 hours, I think we had 17 people book sessions in 12 hours. Within, he's reminding me, he says, within about 2.5 weeks, I believe we had 57 people that had booked sessions, all people from the group, because I didn't even announce this to my mailing list, because he actually wanted it that way. He wanted this to be people who knew us, who supported us, because he's very protective of me. I don't know, I guess because I'm so sensitive, he's very protective of me, and he knows if something upsets me, like if somebody said something that kind of, I don't know, just got me the wrong way, he'd come in and say, that bothered you, right? And I'd say, yeah. He'd say, let it go, like let it go. Or somebody would maybe, I don't know, contact me about something, and he'd say, don't reply to that person, like let that go, like, because he's saying, because I'm overly sensitive right now, and I'll be better later, but right now he's just totally taking care of me. I could feel him like wrapping his energy around me just so that I wouldn't get upset, which I don't, but yeah. So just this, by, let's see, the end of October, or maybe early November, we completed about 100 sessions.
100 readings. And
in 3 months.
You were thinking, how will I ever get clients? Because you hadn't put marketing practices over there, and Alan just made it happen.
And then, okay, so the other thing, because that's what you probably thought was funny too, was I'm in this coaching program, and I tell my coach about my husband who's on the other side, who's coaching me in my business, right? And she hears what he did for me, like all the readings that came in, and other things that he had done and planned for me that were happening. And she said, and she thought she was great. She loved it. Said, that's great. And he started to give her a reading in my coaching session, and she loved it, and she started talking to him too, like, and she said, whatever you do, you should keep listening to Alan, because he knows what he's talking about. And she is a coach in this high-end 5-figure coaching program that I paid for, that Alan's laughing at now, because he says, you didn't need to spend that money, Pam, because I know how to help you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm now listening to Alan, and I just, on a secondary level, listen to my coach, or the program, where he says we're on a different track. Like, so I just go with what he says. to do, because he was in business before, but he says not only that, he sees the higher perspective. He was never into social media. He never studied internet marketing. He doesn't know anything about that. And yet he knows what to tell me to do and what will work for me. Okay. And he's also told other people to call on him for their business, and he's helping other people in the same way. Okay. So, and then the readings just blew my mind, because one of the things he said to them from the beginning that totally, my eyes were like, what are we doing? He said, during the reading, he said, and after the reading, you can continue to call on me and I will communicate with you. Like, I can be one of your guides. In fact, Pam and I will be your guides. Like, you can always contact me, contact Alan. Like, don't try to call me or something, but
And now
call
many of
Alan.
them can talk to Alan, right?
Many of them talk to Alan. Like the first person to do that, and I know she won't mind me mentioning your name, was Kimmy Morton,
Kimmy.
who helped did your website.
Yeah.
So Kimmy was one of the first people that we read for, and he told her, he said, test me. Like, you don't believe that I'm real or that I know what I'm talking about, just test me and I'll help you develop your intuition. And she said, because he said, you are very intuitive and you need to use that in your business. So he helped her tweak her business, like really pivot it and tweak it. And she started calling on him like immediately. And she said he'd show up. He was there. He'd answer a question and he was right. Like and he's probably still doing it. But
And Kimmy wasn't into psychic stuff. She was very.
Oh no, she's open to that. She's open to that.
Okay.
She's very intuitive herself.
No, intuitive, yes. But did she do mediumship and talking to angels?
No.
Because me that she doesn't do. She doesn't know how to talk to angels and everything. So this was new, wasn't it? Talking.
Yeah, it was new. But the funny thing was, he has said to people, test me. Like, test me. Like, because now, of course, not everybody can hear him right off the bat. One person in our group, she was very frustrated, saying, I keep trying to talk to Alan, but I don't hear him. And she was getting frustrated. What should I do? And I said, just keep trying. Don't give up. Keep trying. But as soon as she gave up and said, oh, I can't do it, all of a sudden she said she heard him. Like, he said, I'm here. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, I'll come through. Somehow I'll come through, but they got to keep trying and they've got to, hang in there with it. So basically he was saying to the clients, and this is the other thing. How many psychics tell you that their goal is that you come to them once and you don't have to come back? Because he doesn't want them to come back. He wants to keep helping them after the reading, because he says, and I believe it's true, he says, we're going to get so busy, Pam, that we can't help all the people. They're going to come to us. I want to help them on another level, and I can help them. You can help them, because we're all multidimensional beings, and we can reach out and we can communicate, right? So he's been proving that time after time with coming through to people, showing up and giving them advice. Some of them, even when they didn't quite ask for it, but he'd show up and say, what are you doing? Like another person in our group said he showed up and taught her how to buy.
He wanted to empower them instead of going on asking for readings. Have your own direct connection.
He says we're really trying to teach people how to be their own mediums, like be their own channels. That's why we're teaching channeling as part of our membership program that we're opening up. That'll be a core part of our program. I mean, we also want to teach people how to connect with their loved ones on the other side, because we're kind of writing the handbook that we wish we had had.
I have a question I know the answer, but I have a question for people who have never done this. Can anybody connect with their loved ones?
Theoretically, yes. But I think one of the obstacles for some people, because I've heard this from clients, they want to, but then they're afraid. Like, so your beliefs about the other side come into play. So if you think, well, maybe I'm talking to, a dark spirit, or, maybe that, all that. Like one person, they said, I really want to talk to my mom and my son or something, but I'm afraid. I said, well, you've got to deal with that, because that's going to get in your way, right? Because he and I could see that her loved ones are right there in the house. Like, they want to talk to you. They're right there. I said, they're standing right. I tell her, she's standing right over here. Like, I could see them, and they'd go, oh, I don't know about that. So if you're nervous about it, well, that's not going to work, right? But if you're open to it and you're willing to explore that, you absolutely. Now, Alan has told me that on the other side, your deceased loved ones vary in their ability to reach out, which is understandable, right? He was on a different level, completely different level, so he could. And then I was on a different level too. So even though I was in my head, on a spiritual level, I didn't have any fear about the other side. I mean, I just thought I didn't know what was happening, but I wasn't afraid of it.
Yes.
I just like my mind was blown. That was all. So that's the only thing. But but he says, in theory, yeah, anybody could do this, but their loved one on the other side has to cooperate. They'd have to want that connection. And he says that many of them do. That we would be shocked, like how many of them really long to connect with their loved ones here, but they have moved on because they may have tried to connect like he did with me, but maybe if I was like an average person, I might have just like shut down or said, oh, that's crazy, or I wouldn't like start taking medication like I'm crazy or something. But yeah,
I need to go to a psychiatrist.
I need to go to a psychiatrist, like something's wrong with me. He says, so that's what usually happens, is that the loved one on the other side just kind of gives up because what's the point? They keep trying to like come and say, hi, I want to be with you. And they don't get any response. So they're not going to do that forever. He says that some of them also don't necessarily want to watch us grieve because it's very painful to them. And so they and maybe he's saying that sometimes they may feel guilty too, because maybe there were other issues in the relationship, right? So they feel bad, they feel guilty. That comes up a lot. Like I've had that with clients a lot, where the loved one on their side was maybe a little abusive for various reasons. Sometimes it's not even their fault. They may have been sick. So, Alan was totally out of it, and he was giving me a hard time because he was sick. But then they feel bad, right? So you have to heal the relationship with your loved one on the other side if there's been some trauma or bad feelings or hurt or maybe some betrayal or whatever your issues are. So that's why it's not a straight shot. It's not like, okay, you can just like start talking to them, but you can work through that and heal that, and you can connect with them as long as they want to connect with you. But he's saying many times they do. And by the way, I have talked to people who are having the same relationship he and I are having. Many of them are older couples. Like when I say older, I mean much older than, well, maybe not as much, not much older than him, but older than me, like maybe in their 70s or 80s, like he was, who are older, where one of them is passed over, and maybe the remaining spouse is 70 or 80 or whatever, and they hear their loved one. Like, and when you're older, I'll tell you one thing: when you get older, you don't care what other people think. So even if, because when you're younger, you do care. But when you're 70, 80, or even my age, like 68, you go, I don't care what people think. I'm here for myself, And so they'll be talking to their loved one in heaven, and they don't care. And the family either rolls their eyes, or I've heard some families actually believe that their mom or their dad is talking to their deceased spouse, right? So they actually communicate with them, and they're having a relationship with them, and their loved one over there is checking in on them and pouring their love all over them. Okay, this is happening. And Alan says that when our book gets out there, he says we're going to hear from two groups of people. One of those groups will be people who are having these relationships, as like we're having, but they're not talking about it because it's not openly or widely accepted, right, or understood for sure. And there's a lot of judgment about it. He said, but Pam, there are thousands of people doing this because he's seen it from his perspective. And then there are people who are here in a body who lost someone who want to have that same connection. So there's basically those two groups that he says we'll hear from both of them. And I think that's great, because this subject for us, we want it to be brought to the open, because ultimately our goal, when all is said and done, is not just to connect with each other and help people connect with their loved ones in heaven, as beautiful as that is and amazing as that is. It's also to teach people that we're immortal, that we don't die. Alan's goal is a very not a big goal at all. His goal is to prove that we survive death and that there is no such thing.
In
and
fact,
that we're
I have
immortal.
never seen. I have known Alan for a long time, and yeah, we were friends before, but and good friends. But he wasn't. He comes. He's so much more alive now than he was before. He's like
That
really living.
he's so alive.
Oh my God, big presence coming and talking to me, showing up and making faces at me, just teasing
Oh,
me.
he's teasing you, like pestering you. He
Yeah.
just did that for somebody in my group. You haven't probably seen it, but she did made this Photoshop image dedicated to us, the bridge of to heaven, or yeah, and he was bothering her while she was making the Photoshop, and he kept crashing her Photoshop because he didn't like what she was doing, and she knew it was him because he came through to her. He came through to her. Okay, he's come through to her several times. And I want to share this because I think he's
Mhm.
telling me to share this. One time she came through that really meant a lot to me. It really healed my heart because I think I started trying to tell this story, but he says to tell it. So there was a time when I was really, really upset. I was crying, I was sobbing, and I said, I don't want to talk to you. I'm upset. Like leave me alone, right? And I had never done that before.
Yeah.
And he was very upset because you've seen him. If I'm upset, he doesn't know what to do with himself.
Oh my
He
God.
he
Yeah.
he's just
He's besides himself.
lost. He's lost. So I was really upset, and I don't even remember what it was. I went to sleep upset. I said, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I woke up in the morning, and I turned on my phone to look at what was going on in my group, check on my group, and I'd seen that I know she doesn't mind me saying her name, Maria Pereira. She's in our group. She's like she's the keeper of the playlist for me. She helps us maintain the playlist. But she had just posted a song. And she wrote saying that she felt Alan nudging her to post this song. So of course I go, what is this? Like he got her to post the song. So I click on the song, right? And I only heard like one note, literally one note of the song. Didn't even know what it was yet. And I burst into tears. Like I was just sobbing. And I said, what the hell song is this? Like, what's going on? And I could feel these waves of emotion. And I finally, as I'm listening to the whole song, I got to the end and I said, I turned to him and I go, this is you. And he just goes, yeah, yes. Like you gave me this song. And then I went back to listen to it again. And it's a song from Moulin Rouge called Come What May. And it's a song where Evan McGregor and Nicole Kidman are talking about their love, that they will love each other till the end of time. And as I'm listening to the song, I just got major chills and goosebumps. And he starts telling me, this is how I feel about you, about us. Do you understand? I love you. I bothered Maria to go put this song into the group for you. And then for weeks, that was like, he says it's still his song or our song. Okay. And he'll trigger, like, get me to listen to it, and then I'll get flooded with emotion again. But that right there, I said, like, oh God, I can't like not believe you're real after you do that to me. You get Maria to find this, because the reason she posted that song was he keeps saying, he said in different things that he's written, like he writes through me. He said quite often, like, come what may. And she noticed that. She's very psychic, so she noticed that he was saying that, and something he probably put in her head, like the song. She remembered there was a song, come what may, so she looked for it, and then she felt him like nudging her to go post it. And I told her, I thanked her later, and I said, I'm so glad you listened to him, because it meant so much to me, because I had been just so upset and devastated. It totally turned me in a different direction. And like ever since, he keeps giving me these songs and saying, this is how I feel now, or this is the latest song is kind of more a funny song, but it's not so much romantic, it's more about the future or something. But he's always communicating through music. And he says that's how spirit communicates. That's how our loved ones in heaven can and will communicate to us.
They
There's
do.
many ways,
And this is
through music, through emotion.
beautiful love stories. Like, this is why you called it supernatural love, right?
Yeah,
Between heaven and earth, it never dies. No matter what happens, love never dies.
And that's what he said. Once he got to heaven, he realized he had so much regret, like many souls regret that they didn't share the love that they had, that they didn't take time to express it, to share and receive it, right? Everything. Just, he says that's the number one thing. He says nobody cares about whether they met their business goal or whether they made enough money. He says it's all about love, Pam. Love
Yeah.
is the only thing that matters. And when you get to heaven, you
Yes.
realize that. And when you
Yes.
get to heaven, you realize like you weren't alive when you were in a body, that you were just focused on staying safe and doing, doing what you think is right, or just being comfortable. He says comfort is like the enemy of greatness or being alive, because you can't be alive without taking a little bit of risk, even if it's just to give your heart to someone that you're afraid could break it, right? And he says eventually, he says everybody does get their heart broken because chances are the person you love at some point, like he did, they might die on you, or they might leave, or they might betray you, or whatever. And so people are afraid and they just shut down. And he says, what's the point of that? You get to heaven and realize I blew my chance to just have a life. I could have had a better life than I had. And his life was good. Our life was good. But he realized that it could have been so much better. And we really didn't have the romance there for the full 30 years. It started off in amazing, like, and I'm writing about that now and sharing my love letters. I sent him 50 cards and letters in the course of like several months because I had to woo my husband to be, who was in Great Britain, and I was here in Hawaii. So, that's like a serious long distance relationship. And then he's laughing, saying, and you thought that was long distance? He says, now I'm in heaven.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm in heaven.
But it's actually, aren't you? You're writing
there's actually less distance between us. He says, because I'm here with you all the time.
Yeah.
But when he was in England, I was just bombarding him with mail because I knew that he had to keep being reminded that of our love, and that Hawaii was really his true home, which he eventually realized that. But we started off great because people are saying, you guys were so in love. I said, we were, but we lost, as he used to say, we kind of lost the plot. We kind of like let life like get away from us, and we didn't hang on to that. And now he came back and said, we're going to have a second chance. And that's one of the other songs he recently gave me was One More Chance at Love by Michael Jackson. He really loved that song. He says, we're having another chance at love. And this time it's going to be better. It's going to be everything that you and I never had. And he says, then you'll find that it doesn't matter that I don't have a body. Because don't you feel more loved now than you did before? And I said, I have to say I do. Yes. Because he's so supportive, and I feel his love there, and he's so patient, which he never was. He was never patient when he was in a body, and he was always kind of grouchy. But now he says, of course I can be patient. I have eternity. I'm living forever. What's the rush? He says, I'm the one that's impatient, right? But it's a totally extraordinary life I'm living, and it's also difficult. It's difficult because he's not here, and I still wake up and wish he was here, right? So, but it's been, and it's only been a little over 3 months that he's been gone. This has been what I've called the bullet train to heaven. It's been like, like we're going fast, and he told me we were going to go fast, and he said the first 6 months or so we're going to be rapid fire like growth and change in the opening, and that's what's happening. Every day it's a little different, and I have to keep like writing that.
About you also, I can see the differences in you. I want to point this out to people. Pam even looks much younger in these three. When people are going through grief, it's horrible, and people start feeling sick. They start looking, not so well. But you can see her face, and you can see the glow around her face, and how much this is the face of a person completely in love and enjoying romance. She's supposedly a widow, and we were laughing about this, Pam and I, that It's supposed
Oh,
to be supposedly a very sad thing, but suddenly her life is he is filled with love and so much romance. You can see that. I've seen a remarkable difference, not just in her personality, in how she looks. She's looking much younger. She's looking glowing with happiness. It's different. It's just different.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people, when they lose a loved one, a spouse, especially, what is that? There's a lot of them pass away, actually. There's a high rate of
Oh,
death. I
yeah,
think it's like 40% of
yeah.
people who lose their spouse, they die
Hmm.
because their grief is so hard. And I still go through grief, like but
Yeah.
it passes usually in a day. And Alan recently started telling me, just cry when you are sad like that. Come to bed, just lay down in the bed, get the covers around you. I'll hug you, like just cry, 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 just cry it out, just let it out, and it'll be over. Okay, just don't hold it back, just let it out. And it's always worked, but so I know it's not as heavy as most people go through, because I know for a lot of widows and widowers, the
It's a very
grief is
hard thing.
unending.
It's a
It's
very hard
constant
thing. Yeah.
and it's debilitating. So what I'm going through, I know, is nothing compared to what most people who've suffered the loss of a loved one, who my heart goes out to them
Mhm.
completely. But I don't have to deal with that level. It's because he's always there, and he also wants to give credit to our amazing group, because the people in that group, they're like our family, and how many of them have said, if you're feeling low, just come and talk to us, like we're here for you, like we love you and Alan. And he said, this is why I told you to create this group, and there's special people in there, and they'll love each other, and they'll love you and me, and that's what it's about, because he wanted it to be a place about love, supernatural love, but
Mhm.
still about love, right? And so I have that
Well, I just want to ask
family.
you over here, for people who will be listening to you for the first time, what is your group about and how do you and Alan help people, the group
More people
members?
in the group.
And this is
Okay,
a
that's
free group. So I just want to make
yeah,
everybody
it's
know
open. It's
it's
open to
a
anyone who wants.
free group. You just have to go and apply and answer a few questions and she'll add you. So how
Yeah,
do you and
yeah.
Alan help people there?
So, first of all, the group began because Alan wanted to keep sharing our story.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned it. You said it's kind of like a blog, and I said, yeah, it's kind of like, he didn't want a blog because in a blog you don't get interaction. The
Yes.
people, the people replying to your blog don't interact with each other. He
Mhm.
wanted a community, and I've always actually, since I can remember, have wanted a membership or a community. So a Facebook group is the closest you can get to a community, right? Or even a membership.
Mhm.
So he wanted an audience for his writing, for his messages, for what he was sharing, and he wanted like instant feedback. So I started just sharing, like writing what he was giving me to write, or writing from my heart what I was experiencing, and the response was very positive or very overwhelming. People would say they'd wake up they want to know what happened next, like what's the next
Yes.
chapter of the story. Like right
Like
now, I'm sharing our story.
romance TV show.
Right, something like a reality show. Okay. But besides that, we do more than that. It's more than
Yeah.
just sharing our story. Although
Yeah.
that's like the core part. That's where it started. We're also doing healings in the group. Like we recently did. This was Alan's idea. I told me we're going to do a 48-hour Reiki healing,
Mhm.
because we're both Reiki masters, and we work on another level anyway. And I said, what? We're going to do what? I just do what he tells me we're going to do. So I posted, we're going to do this 48-hour Reiki healing. Put your name, let's put your name, what you need help with, or just say, you don't have to put anything if you just want a general healing, but you have to say you want it, right? So people would do that. And some people have reported that they had a lot of benefit. I've heard from people who said, like, over time, because I've been doing, like, for a while in the other group I had, I would do Reiki healing like maybe several times a week. I would just post similar thing. I'd say, put your name if you want healing, and I would just do it remotely. And people have told me that they did have their conditions, like, over time, healed. Because to me, you can't just think you're gonna get one healing and that's it, right? It's kind of like Alan's saying, it's like you got to heal layers. Like there's layers that usually you have to heal. It's not just, sometimes it could be one time, like instant healing, but most of the time it's a journey, it's a process, right? So he told me one day, we're going to do 48-hour healing. Just poke that up there. We're going to work on them 48 hours. And so people were saying they felt benefit. They felt like their condition got better, or not everybody, of course, because, you know, we can't guarantee that, but we do that. And
And you also
that's,
do this opening just like he opened your heart from being a
oh
completely
yeah,
different person.
people say they're feeling themselves changing. Like,
Mhm.
and in our sessions, like one-on-one session, oh, we also do group readings, which he really loves because we work on everybody as a group, and they learn from each other because they're sharing what their situation is and getting advice or healing for. And he tells them, we've always told them, we keep working with you after the session. And many of them said that. They said they could keep feeling like things were shifting, because we understand that, you know, we're not dealing with just linear time, that we work outside the boundaries of space and time. So some of them have seen him appear to them, you know, do work on them. He says that he knows everybody that's in the group. He keeps track of everybody. He knows what's going on. He checks in on them. We've had clients who said that before the reading, he showed up. Like one woman said he showed up in her house and he was checking on her daughter because we were going to do a reading for the grandmother, but also about the granddaughter. So he wanted to go like talk to her, not talk to her like this, but you know, on another level, right? And so actually, I think the granddaughter did see him, but he was in their house. Like she said, she saw him. And I said, yeah, he does that a lot. He just shows up, and so let's just say, oh, we've had, because of all of these healings, one-on-one or the group sessions, or just in the group for free sessions, we asked for people to give feedback, and we had 52 testimonials,
And
like,
they're all new, right?
that blew my mind. You know, I just wanted to see what response we would get.
Yes.
And here's the other thing. We asked some of them who, if they wanted to get a chance at a free reading, they had to go live in the group and share their story live, which, you know, is hard, right? It's daunting if you're not used to this.
Yeah.
But we had 17 people step up and go live for their first live in our group, and we awarded some prizes to those people. One person's getting a free reading, and another group is getting a group reading. But he says we'll do that again. He loved it. We loved it. We wanted to hear people's stories, not because we wanted to pat ourselves on the back. We wanted people to know what was possible. It's about that. It's like what is possible? What kind of change? What kind of healing? What kind of transformation can you have? Right? So they were speaking from their heart, and they shared their stories, and they were beautiful stories. I mean, you shared your story among many other people, and it helps. We're all here to help each other.
And
And
Pam,
if it's,
there's also one more thing I've noticed you do in your group, which is you often come there and post this thing about if you have any questions, post an Alan or
oh
Evelyn
yeah,
about the
yeah,
afterlife and things, you know, any
about
kind
anything.
of, and that
Yeah,
is all free. That's all
yeah.
free. Just come and educate them about things. And I love that. I love what you did there.
Well, we have to get back to that, because we did have a Q&A thread where we say
Yeah.
put your questions there, and we don't guarantee we can answer all of them. In fact, we haven't,
Yeah.
because Alan liked to just pick a question and then he'd like give the answer. Like I'd write his answer or for it. Usually it'd be his answer,
Yeah.
unless it's something that we both have an opinion on. But we haven't done that for a while, so we have to get back to that. But yeah, he liked that. He really just wants to um, open the membership that we're about to launch next week. He wants to pour himself into that membership. We want to train people as channels, but we know that that would take time. You can't learn that in 6 weeks. I
No.
learned it in a weekend, and most of the people that I took my training with left it, like because you have to keep practicing. And you know, that's why you have your membership. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep practicing, and you need support along the way, or
Yeah.
you'll just like leave it aside. And what's the point? You know, you just
Yeah.
spent money on a course, and you didn't go anywhere with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he wants to create this membership, pour everything he and I know into it, and support people and work on them. And this is the other thing, okay? Because we work outside of the class or the session. So it's like 24/7. He's like available to them. There's no other teacher I know that offers that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my office hours are 24/7, 365 days a week.
Yes.
And I'm not ever going to end because guess what? I'm immortal. I'm not going anywhere. So, you know,
Yes.
so it's a whole different kind of experience, right? So he's saying he can't wait to get started because he knows that this will change people's lives because channeling changed my life. You know, it totally uh, got me on a different track,
Yes.
and but it was because I was committed and stuck with it for 5 months. So
Yeah.
he says our membership probably needs to be a yearly membership.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if somebody just goes month to month, they might just say, "Oh, well, maybe maybe I won't do it." But if they're all in, he says we can really work with them and take them
Mm-hmm.
places. Get them to where they want to go. So yeah, it's his idea. He's so excited, and I'm just like, okay, I'll do whatever you want to do. I'm open. Like as long as it's fun, I'm
Yeah.
having
And
fun,
even
and
before they join the membership or anything, your Facebook group itself is free. That's what I want to tell people that
yeah, well, yeah, that's free. That's
And
Facebook group is
you
free.
can, if you join, I highly encourage all of you to join Pam's group, and I will be putting the link there. So join her group, it's free. You will read her amazing story that she writes every day. She shares from her heart. She's a good writer, so you won't get bored reading it. It's really fun to read her writing. And there's so much help in that group, the readings, the one-to-one readings, which might not be there afterwards, but maybe sometimes. And right now, I think you can still do it, right? One-to-one reading, you connect people
Oh, or
together.
readings with us? You mean one-to-one readings that we do?
Yeah, yeah,
We're still taking one-to-one readings. They're not. I think the next ones are not till January. We're
yeah.
taking off for the holidays, but we
For the
still have
holidays. And
sessions
you're
open.
writing your book and the
Yeah,
membership
we're writing the book.
on there. But they do, Alan and Pam, they do this one-to-one reading. They will connect you to your loved ones. They teach you how to connect with them, and they answer questions over there. There's healings that they do together. There's heart opening sessions over there. There's a lot going on in that group. So if you have lost a loved one, and who hasn't? So if there's somebody you're really missing and you feel like you really need to connect, please go and join that group. It's free. You have nothing to lose. Go and enjoy yourself, immerse yourself in this ongoing supernatural love story going on over there. And you will feel the love. People over there in the group, I read their comments and they say how they feel so surrounded and immersed in love. So just give yourself this gift of go and join a free Facebook group,
Oh,
read it, see what she's saying, and yeah, afterwards when she makes her membership site where she's going to teach you how to channel and really connect, in a deeper way with your own people, you can decide what you want to do then. And she's coming up with this book that she's going to write. She's writing, or not going to write, she's already working on it. It's a story about how he went away, and she thought she had lost him, but she hadn't. She actually had him stronger than ever. You can do
yeah.
it. You all can do it. So join the group and see how it changes your life. Hey Pam, what's the name of your book?
Um, Supernatural Love, a true story of life and love after death.
Yes. And this is nothing scary, right? Connecting to them.
Yeah.
Because there was I just want to mention this because there are many people who are scared of talking to spirit because of mainly movies and weird stuff that people have said. And there was another interview that I had watched of somebody who was talking to another to her husband who had crossed over. But there were
Mhm.
some experiences that she shared which I think were scary for some people who were new, because I shared that with my sister-in-law who has my brother died in 2013, and she's been very upset about it. So I wanted to encourage her, and that time your story wasn't there to share with her. Interview wasn't there, so I shared that interview, and she said her reaction was, "That is scary. I'm never going to do." do that. If those things
What?
were to happen to me, those experiences were to happen to me, I can't bear it.
Well, what happened?
Things
Just
moving and
weird,
all
weird
of that.
stuff.
I don't know what.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
scary happened with you, right? It wasn't scary at all.
Well, what I believe, let's see if Alan corrects me, but I believe that not all beings on the other side can move things.
Okay.
Okay, because he told me that they kind of have to take classes in that. Okay, like you don't automatically are able to do that. Kind of like in the movie, Ghost, where Patrick Swayze's character has to learn how to move the dime or the penny like up the door. Like he didn't know automatically how to do that. And because we had a reading with somebody whose son, as we were reading the son on the other side, the son we were told like, oh, the son was taking classes in that telekinesis, like moving objects. And she said that indeed he was moving things in her home. And he said, well, yeah, I learned how to do that. Like he
And
was having fun taking classes.
if people are scared, Pam, if they're scared, if their loved ones are moving things and doing things that are scary to them, first of all, there's nothing scary. But if it scares, because if not everybody is used to this kind of things,
Sure.
they can always ask them to not doing it. Quit doing that.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Yeah.
Alan's saying this is why we want to have the membership. We want to teach people how to do this so they get help, because he's literally saying, don't worry, if you're a client or in our group, our class, I'll go tell that guy to stop it.
Yeah.
Because when we do readings, he goes and talks to the person on the side, and he'll go, look, like I've seen him like talk to the person on the other side and set them straight. It's been hilarious.
You will
it's
also,
not.
Pam, do you and Alan also help people get over the fear of talking to spirit?
Yeah. But a lot of time, we had a client. We've had several clients who had a lot of fear about the other side, but the dark side, and we did a session. One person did a couple sessions and cleared that. But some of that it could be ancestral lineage, like in your programming, right? Belief system, whatever. There can be a lot of reasons why, but you can clear all that, because that's just a belief, and a belief can be changed and replaced with the truth, which is that there is no real quote dark side, except what darkness is within you that you are attracting to yourself because you believe that, and therefore it has to show up, because you're the creator of your experience, every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've said to you, and you agree to me, like you cannot be both a victim and a creator.
No.
You're like you cannot. So guess what? You're a creator, because if you were only a victim, then that would mean nothing is going to go right for you.
Yeah.
Because you're a victim. So
and
obviously,
you're being a creator even as a victim, because then you're creating victimhood.
Yeah. Right. So might as well just go all in and say I'm a creator, and but that's real fears that people have that would probably hold them back from reaching out to their loved one, and also because our society just has strong opinion.
Very strong opinion.
And
you must forgive
them.
want
you. They don't want you to talk to your loved one on your side. But Alan, he gets really upset about that, because he says, the reason behind that is to control us. Okay? The religious organizations, they don't want you to take control of your life. They don't want you to believe that you're a creator, that you're God, and so is everybody else. They just want you to live in fear. So they don't want you taking that away from them. No. So they're going to tell you that's evil, that's wrong, you can't do that, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. And he just gets, because I know my husband, he was always like anti-establishment, right? Like really against like others trying to control us and everybody else. So he would just like put his, really get pissed off. And he says, that's what it's all about. They don't want you to reach out to your loved ones. He says they have a vested interest in keeping you like in your fear.
Yes.
So you can be controlled.
Yeah. And so working with Alan and you, this is one thing he is going to strongly connect with and correct for people, is freeing them from fear of what is. I think Leanne Shiroma, she wants to ask a question. Leanne, do you want to ask a question? I see an emoji there with a raised hand. Leanne, if
Oh,
you want to ask a question, and then I see a Facebook user. I'm sorry, I can only see Facebook user over here because
yeah,
I
that's
can't see your name.
StreamYard.
If you haven't, yeah, and StreamYard, if you haven't registered, you won't, we can't see your name. But if you have a question, please post your question over here in the chat, and Pam will answer them.
I don't see anything in the chat.
See, oh, okay, sure. Just saying hi. So anyway, I just wanted
Hi, hi, Leanne.
if you guys have any questions, please ask. Please ask any question you might have about connecting to the other side and how it is, about Pam's story. Anything you might have, any curiosity about this, um, just ask, and Pam and Alan.
And if you guys are watching this later after the interview, you
Yeah,
can post your questions below. I'll try to come back and answer them if we can.
yeah.
So don't think, if you're watching this later, go ahead.
Yeah, you can just
Go
go
ahead.
ahead and ask whenever you're watching this interview. Please post your question. I will be also posting this on YouTube. So, hey, YouTube users, if you're watching this on YouTube, please ask your questions in the comments, and I'll get you the answer from Pam. So, I will be posting your group thing also over here. Pam, is there anything else you want to tell them about?
Anything else? No, I think, well, there's always something else. There's always something
I know
happening
there's a lot, and
with Alan.
I just want to
But
say Alan is here. By the way, it's not just Pam speaking over here. I can so figure out that Alan is speaking through her because Pam doesn't is a writer. She doesn't speak way too much. When she's speaking nonstop, that is she channeling Alan, and that's Alan speaking through her.
but when we do our readings, sometimes he comes in very strong.
He's coming.
He takes over. Like he takes over, and I like my voice changes, and I just feel different, right? Other times he's saying right now he's kind of like 50-50,
Yeah.
which is normally how we work. He's like,
Yes.
but sometimes with some client, he's like, I've got to help this person. Like he kind of like pushes me out of the way. And I go, okay.
He's done that with you while talking to me also. I remember there are times when there was once when I was upset about something, and he just shoved you aside.
He just came in. He goes, Swati.
Yeah,
okay.
One single sentence, and that set everything straight.
But he's saying that we're really becoming one. So I noticed the difference like less and less, right? But in the beginning, I really could feel him like come in, like he'd land in my consciousness.
And I know I can see the difference. I have talked to you, so I can see when it's both when he's talking, you're talking. It's pretty clear to me.
He's saying I can't get a word in edgewise. She talks like so much. Like that's why like I did the Facebook Live in our group like earlier this week, and I really laughed. I posted about this. I loved it because I said I was going to answer questions from my group about channeling. And so I started with one question, and I just went on, like kept talking, right, till the very end, hour later. And hour later, I hear Alan say, well, that was one question. Like what happened to the rest? And I couldn't stop laughing later. I said, oh God, that is so you. He says, it's not a problem. He said, because you did tell them you're going to answer more questions next week. He said, but he just said, well, that was one question, Pam. And that was exactly how he would talk to me, right?
Yeah.
Just tease me.
Yeah.
Like you talk too much. I said, yeah, well, if you're a teacher, you have to talk, And it's not going to help if you don't talk.
I have to tell Alan that even he talks a lot. I can say
he talks a lot.
He wasn't like that before, but now he does. He talks a lot. I guess the 2 years of dementia when he could not express himself, it's all coming out now.
He was so frustrated he couldn't talk. He had dementia, and it was so hard for him. And as you can imagine, but he's saying he wants to leave with doing this. People with dementia, he wants people to know that anyone with dementia, they do understand what you're saying. They just cannot articulate it.
Yeah.
So he says, because the higher part of them knows everything that's going on. He says he knew everything going on a broader level. He just couldn't communicate it. So never think that they're like out of it. As you know, if somebody's in a coma, they still know what's going on. They still know what's being said. Same thing if somebody has dementia. So we've had clients with family members that have dementia, and he gets very moved by that, and he tries to help explain what's going on with that and how to help their loved one.
Yeah.
But he decided, because he got sick and his decline was so rapid, he decided when he got the official diagnosis in late January, he decided then and there that he was going to die on his birthday. That's what he told me later. Because how many people die on their birthday? You know, there's go look it up. There's not many people. I wrote it in my book, but there's not that many people. But he chose that day. As you know, he showed up and said goodbye. And he said, I did it to prove that we're in control of our life. I chose that day, and I knew I was going to exit because I wasn't going to burden you with taking care of me. I knew I wasn't going to come back from this. So what's the point? Like, I knew I had to be somewhere else to do the work that we're here to do. And this is better, Pam. I know you missed me, but this is better. And that's why you would joke with me about saying, like, I should say, I'm sorry, but like, when you say, like, I'm sorry, congratulations. Like, sorry that your husband died, but congratulations that he came back to you.
Yeah, he came back to you. It's really been a very amazing journey watching the changes in you, and it's even about his dying on his birthday. He told me before he died, so it's not even as of after he died, then he comes and tells me, because many times spirit does come after they cross over, they come and say bye. But here he comes and cheerfully wakes me up.
On the day.
And he was not dead by then. I thought I was just, maybe it was just I don't know. I just imagined it. Whatever. But he did cross over that day, just as he told me.
And that day, I actually went to get my hair cut, and I felt this elation. I felt like so happy. And I thought, what the hell do I have to be happy about? My husband is lying at home in a hospital bed, you know, getting help. We have hospice help, but, you know, he's on the verge of dying. Why am I so happy? I was feeling his joy. He said later that he was with me that day, and he was so happy. He just couldn't help himself. He couldn't wait to get to heaven. And then he found out that we weren't done. And then he said he got even happier. And he came back, and he was just like all over me with his energy that I you know, I didn't even grieve right away. Because he just swept me away with his love and his attention and his energy. I'd only sleep like 2 or 3 hours, and I'd get up and I felt like I had to write because he wanted to say what he wanted to say, and I just, you know, just went with that, right? And it wasn't until like a couple months later that I kind of came back to earth, and I started grieving. And he explained, like, well, you have to go through that now. But in the beginning, he was just trying to tell me he was here. So he was so excited and so happy, and blasting me his love, like, all over the place. And so that I would know, like, this is real. This is real. Okay, this is real. And now it's kind of simmered down, but it's still, like, he's still there. But yeah, it's always a new thing.
Always a new thing. Yes. There's a question here for you, Pam. Can someone who crossed over try channeling using symbols only visible to the person specific that they are trying to communicate to?
I mean, the person on the other side do that?
Can they sometimes communicate with the person here?
Well, let me ask Alan, okay?
Yeah, using only.
He says on the other side, the person on the other side can do anything. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
You know, on their end. Okay. Because
asking can they use only symbols sometimes? Symbols which are visible only to the person who's on earth.
Who they're trying to communicate with. Well, Alan's saying yes.
Yeah, why not?
He's saying yes. He's saying anything is possible. Again, it depends on the individual on the other side. You have to understand that they're all at different levels of awareness, like, or ability, right? So Um, he's saying it's absolutely possible. He's telling me he's seen somebody do that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it also depends on the person who's receiving, because if the person who's receiving is more clairvoyant than clairaudient
Right,
and
right,
claircognizant, they will see visions and symbols. Now, clairvoyant people sometimes see clear pictures, or they see symbolic, they see symbols
right.
of. So yes, they will communicate with you, also depending on which clair is open for you. Is it clairvoyance or clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, whichever one is the strongest, they use that. So I hope
Right.
that answers your question. If it doesn't, you can ask again. Okay, I did. Okay.
Those questions I just asked Alan. What are you talking?
Do you guys, if you have any other question, just write it, even
Yeah,
if
post it. Post
afterwards.
it in the group.
So, Pam, if it's 1.5 hours, we had a great chat.
Oh wow,
Anything you
it
want
was
to
fun.
end this with? Tell people.
um, just what Alan keeps telling me all the time, that it's all about love, and let's not forget that, especially right now with what's going on in the world.
Mhm.
We really need to be in our heart, and that's what's going to get us through all the challenges that are coming. This is not the time to be in your head, people.
Mhm.
This is not the time to be in fear. You gotta get in your heart, and he says we got to understand there's so much help on the other side, from your loved ones, from the angels, from other higher beings, from guides, right? This is what they're here for. They all want to help us. Your loved ones in
Yeah.
heaven want to help you. Spirits and angels want to help you. We're actually meant to collaborate with them,
Mhm.
and walk the earth side by side with them. We're not meant to just be here in our world and they're over there in their world. That's why he and I are building our bridge to heaven, that everyone can build their own bridge and go
Yeah.
back and forth on it, and
Yes.
have that ongoing relationship and contact with the other side, whatever part of the other side that you want to have contact with, right? It may not be your loved ones that have passed away. It could be your angels. It could be a ascended master. It could be anybody, right?
So,
So
the person who asked the question said the person receiving the communication in symbols is a 9-year-old, and that makes so much sense, because little ones
yeah,
are extremely clairvoyant. Most of all, they are very clairvoyant, so they can see a lot. And I'm not surprised then, because it's a child, that spirit is communicating with them through clairvoyance.
yeah, absolutely.
Children are
That makes a lot of
especially
sense.
clairvoyant, very clairvoyant.
Very clear.
Yeah. So before I end, I just want
Okay.
to summarize this for people, what they get if they join this. First of all, it's a free Facebook group, people. So do not be afraid that, oh, the moment you join, you'll have to pay something. Nothing like
No, 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 no.
free group. And what you get there is an ongoing, you will see her ongoing story. It's not something that happened before. So you read it and you're done with it. You will see her going through this situation, how she recently lost her husband, and how each day is while communicating with him. So you will have this belief. First of all, we need the belief that we can communicate with people who have crossed over. And this, I feel, reading this ongoing story builds a lot of belief and faith in people. Once you clear all your disbelief through that, it's much easier to communicate. So you will be seeing this, and her story is very amazing. You read it and you will know it. You get to have one-on-one reading, which of course that is not free, but you get to have one-on-one readings with them, with Alan and Pam. You have group readings over there, and there are times when they just come and answer questions in the group itself, as long
Yeah.
as it's something that can pertain to a lot of people. you know you are asked a question about the other side, communication with other side, they will answer that, so that many people can benefit from that. Then they also do healings for the people there, which is again free, completely free. They do healings, and they do heart opening sessions, which are very important, because when we block our hearts, we block ourselves to love. And you also need your heart open if you need to communicate with the people who have crossed over, your loved ones in
Mhm.
heaven. So you need to have your heart open, and that's what Alan did. The first thing he did was did that for Pam, open her heart, and you will have that happen there with you. What else? And other questions that you might have about afterlife or anything like that, about the multidimensionally. How we all are multidimensional. In
Right.
we are existing at the same time in many
Right.
many different
On a
times.
different level.
So, so she talks a lot about those things. Pam, Alan keeps telling her it's like getting a peek into heaven with somebody over there telling us an insider view about, hey, this is how it is over there. So you get a lot of that in this group. So join that, and I will put a link over there. Pam, is there anything else you want to add about the group?
So the last thing I'd say is that right there, if you join a group, you'll see, go to the unit section, and we have a piece in there that says how we can help you.
Yeah.
Like, because we talk right straight off the bat to say you don't have to pay for our help. We want to help people for free. We show you how to do that, how to call on Alan, on through, and just through your intention, or just through like prayer or whatever. We have people who say that he did show up, or they did talk to him, and they didn't necessarily think of themselves as particularly psychic. So you have nothing to lose, by reaching out to him. When you call out to him, I come along for the ride, is what he has told me. So we've had clients and members of the group say that they've called on him and then seen me too, like I was there. And I said, yeah, because I'm multidimensional like he is, and so I go with him. And so don't be surprised if we both show up. Like one person in the group, end with this one thing. One person in our group said that she was having trouble. She always had trouble meditating. So she decided, well, I'll call on Alan and see, or Alan and Pam, and see if they can help me meditate. So she immediately saw us, like we came to her, and she was able to get into this meditative state for the first time and hold it. And so we told her, because she later had a reading, we said, so we're teaching you how to hold the state, and soon you won't need us to help you. But think of us like training wheels. Like we're just helping you to manifest that, to be in that state. And she said it was amazing. Like it was this most powerful meditation, but both of us were there, and she felt us, and then we were gone. And I said, well, you can keep calling on us until you no longer need us. We don't want you to keep needing us. That's not the point.
Yeah.
But we're here to help you get started.
From your own
get
direct
yourself
communication.
moving, right? And then you're on your way. So all kinds of things like that have been reported by people that just have blown my mind, and mainly for me on a personal level, helped me believe that my husband is really with me.
Yes.
And that he loves me, and that I'll never ever lose him. But
Yeah.
then neither will any of you.
Yeah.
Really lose the ones that you love. They're with you right now.
They're with you, and they will communicate with you, but you've got to learn how to listen, and how to first of all get over the fear, and get over the disbelief, get over feeling like this is the
Trust.
end. Yeah, and learn how to communicate with them, and it can be, of course, Pam is going to be teaching that in her mediumship, in her membership site, but apart from that, she also teaches so much in her daily.
Oh yeah,
that you
it'll
can
be in the free group. There'll be a lot in the free group. We want people to feel supported.
even while just sharing the story, that you will learn how to do this yourself. You will learn how to do this yourself too. So
That is what's happening for people, because Alan's saying we're holding that energy in the group. Okay, we're holding that state, the intention that people will just be healed or be helped by just visiting our group or connecting with. He wants people to be healed by just reading our book.
Yes.
Right, to just understand, because he's saying he's embedding his energy into that book, or we are, so that because we're not bound by time and space, or we're not just a physical body. So he said, so people will be healed and changed by just reading our story. Things will start happening if that's what they really want.
Yes.
If that's what's appropriate for them as a soul.
Yes.
He said, but he envisions there being miracles for people.
Yeah, and there have been some
Why not?
miraculous healings. The only time when Alan, this is what he told me, when I asked him, "Do you heal everybody?" So he said that I will do my best, but there are some things that we come here as souls. We come with certain experiences that we
Yeah.
must, and that is for our own soul growth. Even though it seems like a very hard thing, but
Mm-hmm.
we as souls have chosen that, and he cannot come between your choice and you.
Right.
You're
Right.
not consciously aware of it. Sometimes people need to go through a certain experience till they learn something. Not just a lesson. It's not about, oh, I'm teaching you a lesson. It's your own curriculum. Before you incarnated, you decided on experiencing certain things. Maybe not even just to learn a lesson. Maybe just to experience it, just to experience and gain understanding into that thing. So if that is the case, then he will not come in between, and he will not. It's the
Well,
same with angels. They won't do
yeah.
it.
Right. Some people are here to, let's say, be a drug addict to
Mhm.
teach unconditional love to their family members so that the family is meant to open their heart and love the person who's a drug addict. So there's nothing to heal. You can't heal the drug addiction in that person's case
Yes.
because they came in to
Purpose.
have that experience. We read for somebody and I saw that right away. And I said, yeah, he was a high level being who said, I came here to be a drug addict to teach my family and my friends unconditional love.
Mhm.
And when he got to the other side, he told us that. He said, this was my path. This was my mission.
Yeah.
Nothing had gone wrong.
Nothing
He
went
wasn't,
wrong.
and
All
we're not
right.
saying all drug addicts have that mission,
Yeah.
okay? But that was his mission. So there was nothing that we could do to fix it if he had come to us.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
So thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you. This is fun.
And all of you who just head over to her group, I will, as soon as I finish this interview. Actually, Pam, you can post. You can post the
Oh
link
yeah,
over
I'll post a link. I'll post a link. Yeah,
there.
don't
And
worry, I'll do it. I'll post
yeah,
it.
and I'll again put it in another post also, or you can just
Yeah,
post it separately. You're an admin there. You can do it. Post it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, so join the group, and there you will learn a lot from. You learn a lot about who Alan is, where, in which level of the multidimensional being is he connecting more. He's like in two places, trying to be, for being the bridge between heaven and earth. He has to be in two different dimensions. He's in every dimension, but like all of us, but where
Yeah.
he to us when he's relating to us, which two dimensions does he relate to us from? And it will explain a lot about you. It's very interesting because when you hear about that, you will wonder which dimensions are
Where are
you,
you from?
and where are you really focusing on right now. It's very interesting, and about you, understanding about yourself and the people, your loved ones who have crossed over. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you.
Ask people, please ask your questions here, or join Pam's group and ask her. Just blast her away with
Oh yeah,
questions.
ask me questions. Bring it on. Alan's saying next time he wants to come on by himself.
I'm sure he does.
How are you going to do that, Alan?
I don't know.
Oh God.
So I will
All
end this
right.
podcast now, but it was so much fun talking to you all. It was so so much fun. Leanne is saying thank you both, Swati and Pam. The energy was different, more comedic tonight. Leanne, what happens is when Alan and I are together, it's usually like this. It's a comedy show, and we are just laughing and talking about things, and then at some point Pam gets irritated with us and says,
Yeah, I do.
"Go
I
on,
go, leave me out of it.
I'm out. I want to be in this." So
But you
yeah,
know,
it's
he
that.
likes to have fun with you, Swati, just like with Maria in the group, because he says, most people in heaven, they're not running around being silly like like he is. So he kind of gets tired of everybody. Not that they're friendly and everybody's happy, but he says, he just likes to be a little more crazy, right? So he wants to come hang out with you,
Yeah.
and so you or with Maria, he gives her a hard time too. So he
Yeah,
just
he
likes
will
that.
be a lot of fun. Even all of you can have fun with him. He has a fabulous sense of humor. And yeah, he'll be serious if you wish. Like angels,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
our angels
just angels.
appear to us the way we want them to be, whichever is beneficial to us.
Right.
Alan does the same thing. If you want to be, if you need a more serious approach, he'll be serious. But if you want laughter in your life, you can have fun with him and see what a comedy show the whole thing. You could be sitting alone and laughing, and sometimes he makes me and Pam laugh for no reason at all. And I'm asking Pam,
Oh
why
God.
are you laughing? And she'll say, why are you laughing? I have no idea why I'm laughing. And he just makes us laugh for no rhyme or reason. We don't even know why we are
Yeah,
laughing.
he can make you laugh for no reason. He
For no
really
reason.
likes that. He really, really likes it. He's so mean. But he says he likes to hang out with you because he can really get you going, and
Yes,
you like to, and you want to have fun anyway, and
yes,
you could be pretty silly. So yeah, so that's why he shows up and he just torments you.
yes.
Like I don't really have time for that. I go see Swati, go visit Swati. Don't bother me with your silliness. So
Thank
he
you,
does. Thank
and
you, Swati.
in your group.
Thank you.
Bye bye, people.
Bye bye. Bye everybody. Yeah, come visit us.